Yeah, I no, I knew it would be a fairly asynchronous looking dance. I don't actually remember why I felt like that was a good idea at this point. It was just sort of instinctual, like, oh, I can do something kind of amusing, I suppose.
Now, Crispin, I'm going to go on a deep cut here because
Yeah.
last time I got to speak to you, I love that I got to delve into a couple of your different performances and talk about them. But there's something I've always wanted to ask you about because one of my guilty pleasures is the Friday the 13th franchise, and of course, you
Okay.
were in the fourth one of those. You were in Friday the 13th, the final chapter,
Yeah.
where you have some excellent lines.
Hey Ted, where's that corkscrew, that fancy corkscrew for the wine bottle?
No, no, we have no suits.
God, I'm horny.
You get killed by Jason Voorhees. I mean, that's cinematic royalty in a way. I love that. Where the hell is the corkscrew? I mean, that's another iconic line.
Ted, hey Ted, where the hell's the corkscrew?
But the part I want to ask about especially is about this legendary dance scene, which of course is has become, a legendary GIF and meme also in modern times as well. And I just want to hear. There's a rumor that the director just said action, and they just improvise these amazing moves. I just got to hear about that scene in particular.
Well, it's no, it's a little more. It was a little more thought out than that. The There was the script just said they dance, something pretty simple, and I asked for them to play. It was AC/DC's Back in Black. Somebody at some point, I don't know if it's around anymore, put it up on YouTube where they probably for copyright reasons it was taken down, but they had it with Back in Black. The movements were always odd, but it was a little more syncopated to the Back in Black than the soundtrack that they ended up using later.
Hey, how come you turned that off?
But yeah, I no, I knew it would be a fairly asynchronous looking dance, and I end up having sex. My character has sex with the girl that I dance with. I'm not quite. I don't actually remember why I felt like that was a good idea at this point. It was just sort of instinctual, like, oh, I can do something kind of amusing, I suppose, was my thought process. I remember just in general on that film that I was just looking to, because I like you're saying that Friday the 13th is sort of
Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
how did you put it? Some kind of
Jason Voorhees is cinematic royalty in a way,
that's what, yeah, cinematic world. Jason Versa. But for me at the time, I was very concerned. I had moved out of my parents' house when I was 18, so I had turned 19. As an actor, I had made a little bit of money up to the point of 18, but this is 1982 money.
This looks like a nice party.
Professor Mills gives them every year. It's his way of making up for all the pain he's gonna cause you later.
I had $10,000 saved up, which was about enough to live for 6 months or maybe a little bit more. And I started running out of that money. And I had had some work.
Sit down. Fonzie, if you don't mind, I'll handle this.
Hey, I'm on your turf, sure.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll just sit over here.
Okay.
Out of the way.
Now, I've looked at your files, and you don't seem to be the idiot you pretend to be.
I'll try harder.
But there was a certain amount of time I hadn't worked, and I was getting very nervous about not having money. I did not want to move back to my parents' house. Not that my parents were bad. I was 18 and I needed to be out on my own. And I had an audition for the Friday the 13th. At this point, I had learned that if you go into an audition with somebody that you'd not met before, not rehearsed with, that there could be an energetic discrepancy that could make the audition not go as well. And I needed work. So I contacted, I knew that I was going in for Friday the 13th. I did the same thing for Back to the Future later.
Are you okay?
Where I would contact the person if I knew in advance that I was going to go in with somebody. I'd contact them through their agent and then rehearse with them a day or two before going in for the audition, so that there was already a connection. And I remember, in fact, the actor that I auditioned with ended up being in River's Edge later. His name's Phil Brock, good actor, nice fellow. And he came over to my apartment and we rehearsed it. We went in and auditioned together. He didn't end up getting that. He later was in River's Edge, but I got the part. But the thing is I had seen Friday the 13th, the original one, in the movie theater.
It must be my imagination.
Not too long after they'd had a re-release of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I'd seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think just a few months before I saw Friday the 13th.
The most bizarre and brutal series of crimes in America.
From my perspective, I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but when I saw Friday the 13th, this is the first one, I thought, well, that's very derivative of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So I thought the original Friday the 13th was not that interesting. I thought it was, I thought, all right, well, whatever. It was okay. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I wasn't enamored with it. So for me, doing a part 4 of this movie that I thought was like a derivative of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I thought, oh, I just needed a job. So so my approach when I was acting, and I just was going to have a good time.
This is a neat room.
But I wasn't thinking it was like a great piece of art. I just felt like I'm going to have a good time and try to do with it as it will. I'm glad that the movie is a franchise that people enjoy, and it was not what was in my head at the moment. I was concerned about it. I wanted to be in a better film.